What's going on, Zoomers? Are we busting for real today? What you just saw was the very beginning of a speech that I gave to a room full of teenagers at a high school that I ended up graduating from about 10 years ago. Now, when I went there, I had a plan as to what I was going to say and how I was going to say it, but I knew the first thing I was going to have to do was command their attention, because I work with kids that age, and I know that if you do not command their attention, they will not give it to you. So I got their attention and I started talking, and I did not do as good as I would have liked to, and there's a couple of different reasons for that. Now, public speaking is something that I actually am pretty familiar with. It's something I do quite frequently. However, there were a couple of issues that ended up leading to me not doing as well as I could have. One of them was the fact that I didn't end up writing anything down, and this is because I usually am good at being able to get everything that I have to say out. The other thing that made it difficult is that after I started speaking, there was an interruption that lasted about 3 to 5 minutes. So once that interruption was over, I basically had blanked, and since I didn't write anything down, there was really no way for me to kind of get my bearings again. I'm telling you this right now to illustrate the fact that I'm not really happy with my performance that day, and I did plan on putting the video on this channel, but I don't think I'm going to do that. What I'm going to do instead is make a video dedicated to the things that I wish I knew in high school, and these are going to be things that I didn't know as well as things that I did know, but I just really didn't abide by as much as I probably should have. I don't expect everybody to understand or agree with everything that I have to say in this video. However, I hope you recognize that these are coming from experience. This isn't something that I learned in a book or a movie or anything like that. It's not some theory about how you could potentially live your life. A lot of the time when people give advice, they basically just rip some kind of feel-good thing that they saw from a movie and they try and tell somebody else to live that way. And that doesn't really work very well, in my opinion. And that's not what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to give you down-to-earth and useful tidbits of information that you can use to try and better yourself now, as well as set yourself up for a more successful future. So with that out of the way, let's get started. So I'm going to start off by validating everything that you feel about math and probably science class, and I'm going to tell you that you're not going to use it at all once you end up getting out of school. I remember in school we learned the Pythagorean theorem, y equals mx plus b, skeleton equations, and a bunch of other things that I have never used since I have ended up graduating, and the only time anyone would use any of those is if they ended up going into a field that requires them. Now, with that being said, we're going to come back down to earth for a second, and I'm going to tell you that you need to learn them and get as good at them as you possibly can. Because at the end of the day, high school, just like life, is one big game. And the better you are at playing by the rules of that game, the easier your life is going to be and the more successful you're going to be. At the end of the day, knowing skeleton equations is going to make for a better grade. And if your plan is to go to college, you want the best grades that you can get, because one, it's going to mean better colleges, but two, it's also going to mean more and better scholarships, so that getting into and going to college is going to be that much easier. You may not be aware of this right now, but every 5 to 7 years, the average person ends up making a whole new group of friends. Some people think it's every 3 to 6 years, but I've noticed in myself that every 5 or so years, I end up with a completely new friend group, which is why I'm saying 5 to 7. The reason I'm telling you this is because you may not realize it right now, but after high school, you're most likely not going to talk to most, and if not, all of the people that you ended up going to school with, including many of your best friends. Now, I know this may seem a little bit weird or a little bit startling because you've known these people for so long. You've known most people for at least 6 years, and if not more, but this will end up happening. And I know everybody sits there and they talk about best friends forever, bros for life, this, that, the other thing. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be talking every day. This isn't just doom and gloom. I'm not telling you this to try and make you sad or anything like that. I'm telling you this to make you understand that you don't have to give in to peer pressure, and if somebody's messing with you, if somebody really just does not like you, you really don't got to worry about it that much, because there will be a time that you don't have to deal with that person anymore. Also, one thing you have to remember is that you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time around. And if you're going to spend time around losers, if you're going to spend time around dog shit people, you're going to end up being a dog shit person. If you spend time around good people, people that are good for you, you're going to end up turning into a good person. This is sort of an extension of the point that I mentioned about playing the game, but it's very important that you are a likable person. One thing that Sam Hyde said years ago in a video of his that really struck me hard was that people don't get opportunities because they do good at their job. They get opportunities because they're well liked. As time's gone on, I've realized just how true this really is, and I've noticed it in my life as well as the life of others. I'll be completely honest with you, I've lost out on more than a couple of opportunities because I just was not a likable guy. And I don't even consider myself to be a likable guy now. I just think that I'm a little bit more likable than I used to be. Just remember that people tend to get what they want, and if you show somebody a hard worker who just wants to be left alone, they're gonna give you the hard work and they're gonna leave you alone. Which means that when someone has a shit job that they really don't want to do, they're just gonna pass it off to you, and you're not gonna get a promotion because of it, because after all, it's not like you make it known you want to climb the company ladder, you just want to be left alone. And of course, these people who get shit on all the time and then not rewarded for it, they end up getting upset and they start yelling at somebody, or they end up quitting, and they don't quite understand why. It's just how it ends up going for them. It's really just that they're not that likable. They don't know how to play the human game. So that's all that I had for you today, and I want to say that when I was making this video, I had a bunch of different things that I wanted to say, and I probably will end up getting around to saying those. It's just that I don't want these videos to be 40 minutes long. I want them to be nice and quick. So with that said, there will be more of these videos in the future. If you like this video, be sure to leave a like and also subscribe for more. If you have any comments, definitely leave them down below. And until next time, thank you for watching and good luck out there.